There's one magical, haunted evening each year when all the scary creatures come out to prowl through every neighborhood.
Next week is the big night that many of us have been clamoring for. A night to dress as our alter egos and walk in the dark streets to get sweets from strangers, or stay home with your friends to drink and watch some old slasher films. Or maybe you're like us horror YouTubers who have our own days to celebrate the holiday of Halloween. But there are a lot more secrets hidden inside this rather macabre night. To celebrate Halloween, we're going over 5 facts about the holiday of Hallows Eve. My apologies if I pronounced this incorrectly. Halloween was thought to have come from the Gaelic festival of Samhain, which comes at the end of the harvest season, more specifically October 31st. There would be many different ways people could celebrate, but one of the most interesting was by dressing up in costumes to fend off spirits and keep their land safe. But not everyone was into this pagan practice, especially a man by the name of Pope Gregory III, who created a holiday on November 1st known as All Hallows Day, also known as All Saints Day, which was created in honor of saints. Most people didn't mind the existence of this new holiday, but still wanted to celebrate Samhain. After so many years, however, Samhain was referred to as All Hallows Eve. But what about the idea of trick-or-treating? Well, to be honest, most aren't really sure. One popular theory was that it derived from a custom of souling. This is where many of the poor meet one another to pray for the dead members of each respective families, and in return, they'd receive cake. Jack-o'-lanterns are considered an icon to the season of Halloween, much like snowflakes are to Christmas and hearts are to Valentine's Day. Typically, we get the biggest pumpkin we can find, open the top, pour out its insides, and carve a face or design on one side of the pumpkin. But did you know that pumpkins were not the first vegetable to be carved for witch hunting season? In fact, we have over 10,000 years worth of vegetable carving history. The earliest example would have to go to the gourd, around 700 years ago by the Maori. But these were used more like lampshades rather than decoration. The more traditional carving of the jack-o'-lantern was made in Ireland in the 19th century. But instead of pumpkins and gourds, they used turnips. Carving open a pumpkin is more of an American thing, and that's mainly because of the 1820 story, The Legend of Sleepy Hollow, which featured a man named Ichabod being chased by a headless horseman who, in some depictions, had a pumpkin jack-o'-lantern for a head. Eventually, the idea of pumpkin jack-o'-lanterns were tested in 1834, but did not become a staple to Halloween until 1966. Just like any other day of the year, someone could snap and perform an act that would have disastrous results. But since so many kids and adults are out and about during the night of Hallows Eve, someone with a sick, twisted mind could easily take advantage of that. One good example was on 2011 in the state of Chicago, where a 55-year-old man named Little Peoples accused his girlfriend of stealing a bag of Halloween candy from him. After a heated argument, his significant other became his killer, and believe it or not, killed Peoples by bashing a plate on his head and stabbed him several times. There was also a case dating back to 1974 when a father poisoned all 3 of his children's Halloween candy with cyanide with the intention of blaming his neighbors afterwards. This was because the father, Ronald Clark O'Brien, was severely in debt and saw an opportunity to obtain a large amount of money from killing his son. Our last example goes up to 2008 when a drug dealer named Quentin Patrick heard knocking on his door. He believed it was a rival gang attempting to attack him, so he, without thinking, grabbed his AK-47 and shot 29 bullets through the door. Turns out, it was actually 2 young boys and their father on the other side. The father and one of the boys were injured but survived. However, the 12-year-old son did not. So why do you see so many decorations and items in your local stores and business? Why do you see TV networks getting festive with bumpers or new TV specials? The easy way to explain this would be because Halloween is one of the most profitable holidays in the world next to Christmas. Companies often spend a hefty amount of money because they know they'll eventually get their money back, especially candy stores, who often start selling Halloween candy even in the middle of August. Sadly, this means that Halloween can sometimes become very corporate, but a lot of us still enjoy the holiday. With that being said, we hope you have enjoyed this grotesque brain, and from us at Hotel Room 103, we wish you a happy Halloween.